They told you you were lazy because you needed rest, because you stopped trying so hard, because you no longer wanted to wake up and wear a version of yourself that didn't feel real. But what if you're not lazy? What if you're just tired? Not tired like sleepy, but tired in your bones, tired in your soul, tired of pretending to be okay, tired of forcing motivation, tired of playing a role that no longer fits the person you're quietly becoming. Let's be honest for a second. Most people aren't lazy. They're overwhelmed. They're disconnected. They're buried under invisible pressure. They're trying to survive in systems that never cared for their nervous systems. They're trying to stay soft in a world that often rewards the opposite. But instead of rest, they get shame. Instead of compassion, they get labels. Instead of help, they get told, just try harder. So they do. They push. They hustle. They pretend. Until one day, something inside them goes quiet. Not broken, not ruined, just exhausted. You call it burnout, but deeper than that, it's a grief. Grief over a self you abandoned to meet expectations. Grief over dreams that turned into duties. Grief over never being asked, what do you need? Only told, this is what you should do. And that grief wears you down. But still, you move through the motions. You go to work. You answer text. You show up, barely, with a smile that doesn't reach your eyes. And at the end of the day, when you lie in bed, you feel guilty for not doing more. As if being tired wasn't enough. As if surviving a world that constantly demands performance isn't already a full-time job. But let me remind you, you are not a machine. You are not lazy. You are not a failure because your soul needs stillness. You're a human being who's been pretending for too long. Pretending to be strong when you're breaking inside. Pretending to care when you feel numb. Pretending to be productive when your inner world is begging for pause. And that pretending, it drains more energy than you realize. It's not just physical fatigue. It's emotional fatigue. It's the cost of wearing a mask every single day. Think about it. You were never taught how to rest. You were taught to perform. You were praised when you excelled, not when you breathed. You were loved for your results, not for your being. So you learned early on, rest equals laziness. Stillness equals failure. Silence equals something to be fixed. And now, even when your body collapses, your mind screams, I'm just not trying hard enough. But here's a radical truth. Trying harder doesn't always lead to healing. Sometimes trying less does. Sometimes healing begins when you stop forcing yourself to be okay. When you allow the cracks to show. When you admit, I can't keep doing this. Because the truth is, no one thrives in constant performance. No one grows while constantly pretending. The flower doesn't bloom year-round. The tide doesn't stay high forever. Even the sun disappears each night. So why should you? What if the reason you feel lazy isn't because you're not capable, but because you've never been given permission to slow down? What if your procrastination isn't a defect, but a signal? A signal that something is misaligned, that your body and soul are tired of the chase, tired of goals that don't feel like yours, tired of climbing ladders you never asked to be on. Have you noticed how your energy returns when you're doing something that matters to you? That project no one asked for, but your heart wanted. That walk in the park with no goal except noticing the breeze. That moment when you laughed with someone and forgot the script. That's not lazy. That's alignment. And maybe that's what you've been missing. Maybe it's not about being more productive. Maybe it's about being more real. Because deep down, you're not lazy. You're grieving a self you've never truly met. You're tired of being on. You're tired of pretending to love a life that doesn't reflect your truth. And sometimes, that truth sounds like silence. It sounds like, I don't want this anymore. It sounds like, I can't keep pretending I'm okay. It sounds like, I want to rest without guilt. Let yourself hear it. Even if it doesn't make sense yet. Even if no one understands. Even if it means disappointing people who expect the mask. This is not the end. It's a beginning. It's the start of unlearning what was never yours. The start of choosing rest, not as an escape, but as a way home. You don't have to earn your right to pause. You don't need to justify your tiredness. You don't owe the world a version of yourself that's always performing. You are allowed to be still. You are allowed to not know. You are allowed to want something different. Not because you're lazy, but because you're finally listening. Listening to your body. Listening to your heart. Listening to the whisper that says, there's another way. A way that's softer. A way that's truer. A way that doesn't require you to abandon yourself to be enough. And yes, that path takes courage. Because the world will still try to label you. Will still ask for more. Will still measure you by what you produce, not who you are. But every time you choose rest, you rewrite the rules. Every time you choose truth over pretending, you heal a little more. Every time you say, I don't need to perform today, you become more free. So breathe. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are healing. You are becoming. You are remembering what it means to be real. One quiet breath at a time.